All right. Problem resolved. Now we can dive in. Uh, we're going to start kind of in the middle of things, and we might get some justification for why you're here, each of you, just so it doesn't feel so out of place. Um, and you can get creative if you want to, but there's been a general call to a place known as Killington in Ascalon County in the former duchy of Ascalon. So the county is Ascalon. Killington is the name of the town, and there's been a call out for any able-bodied riders and hunters, predominantly knights, with the notion of some kind of compensation to look for what sounds like a missing king, an absent king. For those already in the know, so we're going to start with like Sir Ian and Sir Varys, I think, who had some previous experience with this. Let's start with Ian and Varys first. Are you two coordinating together on this already? Were you here, because I think both of you were in the Norgales.
I was already in Norgales, yeah, so I'm still there. Yeah. I stepped out. I'm on my mobile right now, just because I have guests at the house, so I'm outside. So I don't have access to the roller right at the moment.
That's okay. We don't need the roller.
Okay.
Ian, were you? I don't think you've played since the Norgales one, correct? Or have you?
I did almost all of the games that Liam ran.
Okay. I was in Liam's as well, so yeah.
Oh, in Heartland. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we would have to have traversed back or something.
Yeah, easy enough. Well, this doesn't take place in Norgales, so you're good to go.
Okay.
This is in Heartland. This isn't in Heartland. You were in Heartland up here, and you're now in the county of Ascalon down here, which you probably can't see. But long and short of it is, you know that his brother Lamerick is who has organized this. So it's the missing king's brother, the one that you had worked with previously. He's the one trying to organize this response.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And have you two been riding with him, with Lamerick?
Yeah, Varys would. I mean, he already said that he would. So back at the end of the Norgales thing. So
same with Ian.
That was my intention, also.
Okay. So to add a little bit of colorful flavor, because you two are transitioning from the previous one, I think what might happen is you guys have split up through various points throughout the year. Sometimes searching through different forests, leading different solutions. And now you're in Lamerick, or you're in Ascalon, and Lamerick is with you. We'll save the update until we get in character here. Why don't we just walk through? We'll go to Tiberius next. What might have drawn you to Ascalon? Obviously, there was an outreach for this, looking for anyone who was willing to, to support this. What would have drawn Tiberius here?
Well, I mean, I guess being a mercenary knight, I pretty much go where the work is, but I'm sort of wanting to get as far away from Londinium as possible after the wonderful feast and the big fire.
That's fair.
It's like I am not involved in that.
Definitely same.
Okay, so maybe the two of you came over together then, since you two were both Godric and Tiberius were in that wonderful feast, we'll call it.
Great feast. Fantastic feast. Nobody has feasts like Tiberius.
That is true. That is true.
That
We're
works
like,
for
hey,
me.
Godric, I hear there's some work all the way over there.
Perfect.
You want to come?
Yes, absolutely. Whatever gets me out of this city faster.
Love it.
Awesome. And then we'll go to Theodric last. Oh,
So what I'm thinking is, obviously, there is the chance for money, but also just, if you find a missing king, that's a pretty glorious thing. So just the chance to get some glory.
that's fair, and that's probably what a lot of people are doing, to be clear. So, there's
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
right.
That is actually a really good reason. Find a king, get a job.
It's true.
Like a second son or something.
Okay. So, as we dive in here, there is a large gathering in a hall in Killington. A number of knights, basically a number of riders. It's not even knights. There are esquires here. There are sergeants here. A lot of mercenary knights are here for this ask to find the missing king. And with that, his brother steps up in front of everyone and begins to offer a speech. This is late spring of 493, by the way.
A quick question I had. How old are squires when they usually start? Because it was
15.
491. 15?
15. Yep.
Oh.
At 15, and then they age out at 21. So
21. I just needed the starting age, because my squire aged out in 490.
when did your squire age out?
491.
Okay, that's easy enough. Here we go. Clarence County, Seathenin is the name of your new squire.
Okay, I had just come up with Melir, but I can totally use that. Whatever works.
Yeah, we usually try to pull from this just because it adds a little
That's
bit
fine.
more. Yeah. And also, you don't often choose your squires, so it's a fun.
Yeah, I literally
fun
just
mechanic.
rolled the name and I'm setting the age to 15. That's
Having a cowardly of 16 as a
oh
squire
yeah,
is going to be a
that's
fun time.
not great.
Yeah. Okay. So, with that in mind, Sir Lamerick stands before everyone. Third-born son of Sir Pelham, and the younger brother to King Pellinore. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. I realize that this is not the most straightforward of missions, and I'm not certain that when we find him, should we find him, that he'll return to us. My brother, King Pellinore, he's been missing for some time. We have it on good authority that he's been sighted here in Cornwall. He is hunting something. Some sort of fantastic beast. It's drawn him away. And while he is away, our kingdom continues to collapse in on itself. There are only two of us from our royal family that remain alive, with my brother absent. We lost my elder brother not long ago. And without him, well, we are running low on leaders. Without a true king, the threat of the mountain rebels becomes worse. And there are few that can organize the knights in Norgales and Gomerith to fight against them. I need to know, at the very least, that my brother is aware of this, and that he's choosing to ignore it. If that is the case, then we will take a different direction with things. Cannot wait much longer for his return. He is a big man, long hair, thick beard, a hunter, loud booming voice. You won't be able to miss him. He's likely riding alone, likely without a squire or any sort of entourage. Are there any questions? He says, looking around the room, and this room, of course, includes all of you.
Out of character, is this the same family that Varys had offered to knight the youngest one for?
Yes, this is the brother that
That's
was
okay.
riding away.
I just wanted to make sure I was certain about it. Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Do they have a portrait, maybe?
I did post the portrait. Can you see it in the chat?
Yeah, I mean, asking in character, Tiberius is wondering, like, do they have a portrait we could possibly look at?
They don't.
No worries.
And, so has a question. He's a sort of cross-armed and ponderous. And I've heard more than once now about this creature that they went off searching for, but nothing really about it. Do you know what it is or what it may do? Just curious for consequences. If it's some mystical thing, he could be enchanted or who knows what.
Enchanted, perhaps. He seems like he behaves so, I guess you might say. It's not in his character to abandon everything the way he did. It's like he's possessed by this need to find it. As for the creature and its descriptions, I cannot say. Pellinore spoke of it. He referred to it as the questing beast.
Does that name sort of ring any bells? Like, have we heard anything referred to as the questing beast before?
You can make folklore rolls. I believe you, Tiberius, have been involved in something in character related to it.
Yep, that's about what I expected. I don't hang out with commoners.
Yeah.
Bob, if you wanted to roll for me for that, that'd be fine. But chance of passing that's gonna be pretty slim.
I rolled a 6 for you. Let's see what.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
I think it's like a 1. So
Yeah. Okay. Nothing concrete, but Tiberius, you're pretty certain that when you were on your hunt, do you remember the linkage with your hunt for Merlin?
Yes. That might give me a modifier.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a modifier. Like, you know what you know from that scene. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
a terrible screaming roar. The most unsettling thing I've ever heard in my life.
He looks to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Ferris just spoke up and said that he built his piece. the question.
To be honest, when my brother would go on about it, I thought he was perhaps being a bit of a fool. I never really did pay attention to the descriptions of it. I only began to take it seriously once he departed to chase after it.
It has, if it's the thing I'm thinking of, it has a roar like I've heard from no other animal ever. It is unsettling.
I think I'm just gonna raise a brow at Tiberius at that. Like, really? Really?
Yeah. Tiberius is famously valorous, so it's not like he's someone who would say, well, I'm scared of the dark.
Such a strange name for a beast. I'll take you at your word for it.
It is.
I know not what it is, only what he referred to it. But to be honest, I'm not even certain that it actually exists. Which complicates the issue. Pellinore, well, if he's like he was the last I saw him, it won't be easy to convince, but even so, I need to find him. I need him to be aware that we're facing an uprising and a civil war. I'd ask all of you as riders to group up into small units and begin to comb the forests in Ascalon and Tintagel. If he's been sighted last here, this is a good as place as any to start. My hope is that we might find him. I know the way knights think. Likely some of you've heard this noise, heard this conversation, and you're thinking to yourself, perhaps I can find this questing beast. And I cannot stop you, but that is not what I am here for. I'm here to find my brother.
I gave you my word before that I'd help you in that. I'm not gonna let some promise of a possible encounter with some beast sway me from that.
And when we find him, what was the message we were supposed to give to him?
Let him know the fate of Norgels if he does not return. Let him know about his kingdom of Gomerith. That it will fall. That he's lost a brother already. And that his two other brothers are not certain that the kingdom can be run without him. He is an absent king, not a dead one, and loyalties have not shifted that away from him. Till he returns, only a few of our greatest knights have mustered with us. Others remain locked away in their halls, in their manors. We cannot organize a muster without the king. Not a true one.
So Pellinore's from Norgales, right?
Correct.
And who was it you said they were being attacked by?
It's a civil war.
Oh, civil war within Norgales. I'm sorry.
It's uprising. There are mountain chieftains. 3 of them, known as the 3 Cadlu, who have begun organizing a rebellion against This is kind of technically happening. There's weird lines between Gomerite and Norgales. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not. In this case, it's like the kingdom of Gomerite does extend to like Norgales and the Isles as well. So um, there is some civil war and conflict where some of the mountain people are beginning to rebel and they're not able to organize and muster to defend against it.
Right, but they're confident if Pellinore comes back, then everyone's just going to fall back into line the way they should do.
They're confident that they can organize as knights appropriately.
Right.
Like without a king, not everyone's answering the muster. Not everyone's responding to the call to arms. They're being selfish. And so a king would have that right. And because he's not a dead king, he's an absent king, that fall in line is going to more of like a steward role than or a regent role than an appropriate like replacement to the kingdom. So without Pellinore, things are going to hell in a handbasket. That is the long short of it, basically.
So Tiberius might see perhaps some parallels between what's happening there and what's happening with Logres, with some of the great lords refusing Uther's call, and that causing the problems that it's causing.
Yeah, though, I mean, in 493, there's no one left that's refusing Uther's calls. They're just not anyone in Logres, anyways. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions I can assist with? And you notice that some of the knights and riders kind of laugh and think this is a joke and begin to walk out. So there's less groups, but there's still probably 100 riders deep that are in this gathering right now.
Yeah, I don't think Theo is okay with seeing that. Like, sure, he might not be, your king specifically, but like, he is your superior. He is the one giving you orders. You need to follow them.
Yeah, the
And
mercenary
take it
knights,
as
they are annoying.
seriously as you can.
Yeah, it's fair.
Is it possible to get a little bit close so I can ask him a question more quietly?
Once the official meeting's over, that can be done. Yeah. But right
Sure,
now, he's
thanks.
kind of standing in front of the podium. So if you
Yeah,
did, it
yeah.
would draw attention from everyone. Just to verify, are there any other official questions? If not, I think that we'll move forward and close the meeting.
Barris already said his piece, so he's good to go.
Patrick is just being quiet, laying low.
That's what I'm doing as well. Although, do they have any falcons here? Because I am particularly good at falconry. I wasn't sure if, that might be able to help.
You would, I mean, you could probably. It's only a day or two ride from Barrack. You probably could have rode out here with your falcon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was possible, because I am very good at falconry.
You knew what you were coming with, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He would have come with a falcon.
I mean, that's awesome to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So with that, the meeting adjourns and Lamric turns to one of the men that seems to be standing beside him, and he just says, "Thanks again to our host, Bledick, for allowing us to use Killington for this organization. It's much appreciated. With that in mind, Well, organize as you will and ride out. We'll return to Killington with any updates we have as we go through. I'll be organizing from here rather than riding. That way we have proper feedback coming to and from. And like, for those that have been riding with Lamerick, he's been probably exhaustively riding since, like, you saw him in Norgales. Like, he's ridden all over Logris in search of his brother.
Yeah, the time before that wasn't exactly an easy run either. So, with all the combat.
Tiberius, you probably have that opportunity now. You want to ask your question?
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll try and get reasonably close to him, and I'll go, my lord, if I might ask a more sensitive question.
Of course.
I'm quite skilled in knowledge of the demonic fey creatures, especially of the forests. I know that some creatures are able to bewitch a man, and therefore I am wondering, if we determine that he is bewitched by a fey creature, what do you want us to do? If his mind is no longer his own.
I don't want anyone to interfere. I think that if Pellinore chooses, even with his knowledge, not to return, then perhaps we will call him an abandoned king, not an absent one.
Very well, so you don't want us to try and bring him back by force if necessary.
I don't think that's wise. I would hate to see something go wrong. Blood to be shed, especially my brother's.
Of course, I would never wish to cause him harm. Very well.
You may not, but another might, if left with an opportunity. And Pellinore can be rash if he is under some sort of charm. What's to say that he wouldn't be the first to draw blood?
Then I will try and make sure that the people I ride with have cool heads, my lord.
Understood. All right, with that, I think I'm just going to step away for a minute. If you all want to role play together for a minute, and then we'll probably get deep into the actual hunt itself here. So, go ahead. Groups are organizing. Obviously, a lot of you are familiar faces, and some of you have connections with one another, so we can kind of go from there. If not, we can say that, there are knights with, a couple thousand glory that might be recognized. For example, we know Ian is connected with Varys. Tiberius is connected with Ian. Godric is connected with Tiberius. I'm not sure if Theodoric has ever been involved with any of these guys or not.
I believe both Theodric
During
and
the raids in 486, I think I was there with Varys. I think you were there.
Yes. You talking on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there you
When
go.
we went with Matic, yeah.
Okay, so all of you have some kind of link to each other, just to make it make sense and why you might want to form a small contingent together here. But I'll be right back.
Right. Friends of friends, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, Owen definitely gravitates towards Varys and Tiberius, at least because he knows them or is acquainted.
I think that Theo is probably going towards Varys as well, just scratching his Falcon Malir's head.
How's your bird?
Malir, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Good, good. Always fascinating having one that's trained with that. Do that. Never been one myself. Never had the talent for it.
I
Just
do,
takes time like anything.
I do have a squire from this region. He
That could
may
be
know
helpful.
something that could possibly be helpful.
Oh,
So if we find the king, what are you going to ask for?
What do you mean if he comes back with us?
And I think finding him will be worthy of reward if he comes back with us, doubly so.
Speaking of which, I hope we're getting paid just to look for him. That'd be
I
good.
gave my word that I would search for him anyways, pay or not.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Words don't fill a belly, though.
I know that.
That I
Not
hear.
easy traveling around.
I don't think we need to focus on the reward yet. We just need to find him. If we can.
I agree. And even I get sidetracked as well. You heard my piece in there in the meeting. I'm not off chasing after some beast.
So,
Like something my father would have done.
if what I heard before was this questing beast, it was very much inside a forested area. Perhaps we should look in the Morris Forest on the border of Tintagel and Ascalon here. And perhaps my squire might know something of the area. His family was from here before.
There is a
Yeah.
road.
It certainly could help. So I wonder just what sort of beast this is. You said you have heard such a thing.
What I heard
Strange.
didn't look animal.
Strange.
I thought initially it might have been a trick of the druid that we arrested, but I'm just not sure.
I see. We'll have to stay as alert as we can then. And hopefully we find the missing king before the beast finds us, perhaps.
Imagine if the beast finds us, he will be right on its tail.
If he is as driven as his brother says, then yes, I agree.
I agree.
I also think perhaps this beast is not one that seeks combat. Otherwise, surely Pellinore would have found it and slain it by now.
Or been slain.
Hmm,
Or been slain, exactly. Perhaps
fair.
it is one of those elusive fey demons that lives for the
Perhaps
chase.
it likes to play games. Yes.
The case, and it's some kind of beguiling creature. How do we keep sure that we don't get the same done to us?
I have an
Great
idea.
question that I don't have
Trust
an
the
answer
gods.
for.
No, I have an idea about that. If it is one of those demonic type fey things that I read so much about, perhaps it is able to take control of a person's body. Perhaps we among us should have some sort of word or phrase that we can speak. So if we do act strange, then we will be able to recite this phrase, such as like a call and an answer, if you will, to know that our companion is not possessed.
Not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, though. why do you think he is possessed?
Because the Fae are demons.
And what else would drive a man to abandon his family and kingdom for so long?
Another fair question.
It is a fair question.
I'm not sure that I know what the answer would be. I can't
Right.
imagine it myself.
Well, if we find him, we'll be sure and ask.
Okay. So, we're gonna do some rolls here, I think, as we dive in. Now, this is a bit of an investigation. Obviously, there's a number of skills that could contribute. I want each of you to choose as you kind of gather together in a group. First off, I heard a comment about pay. There was an offer for pay 2 Libram for participation in this for the year, or if it's just for like the season, it's 1 Libram. So, and there's no additional reward for finding him. It's just participation. Actually, I'm going to double back on that. It's probably 1 Libram and then an extra Libram for finding him, or proof of finding him. So, does that make sense?
Good idea. Yeah, because otherwise people might rock up and go, yes, we're out looking for him, and then head straight to the pub.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I found him, and here's his beard as proof.
Here's his head. Yeah. Okay. So I want to know how each of you plans to contribute. We're gonna choose 1 role each, and allow that to be your contribution towards the initial search effort. I think the more creative you guys get, so the more skills you're able to employ. This might be utilizing word of mouth. It might be whatever you think is most appropriate for what you want to do. You could start with the thematic if you'd like, rather than go with the creative versus the logistical thinking, and we'll probably roll off as a group on those things, and then based on how many successes, we'll plant ourselves with where you guys get and where you're at. One thing that will be required, I'll need at least 1 hunting roll through this process. Everything else can be a matter of your expertise and your contribution. So why don't we go with that? Why don't we open that up and kind of workshop it as a group? How do we want to approach this?
I was thinking of, well, the hunting anyway, but also like awareness and courtesy to, be thoroughly searching, talking to people, looking for any evidence.
Yeah, those are good starting points. What do people think?
I had a couple ideas, though the main one I want to actually roll for is using my falcon Malir to, look for any signs of him. But before, I would have ridden out here, would Jailwolf have heard anything about this, about the king being missing? Because if so, I think he would have had some of his men, keep their eyes open for any signs.
Yeah, I think most of Logos knows or has heard rumor that Pellinore is absent from Norgales, and
Okay, then I think he would have his men basically keep their eyes open for anything, related.
yeah, but you're thinking of falconry is what you'd like to roll?
Mostly just for what I'm rolling, it's gonna be using my falcons to look for signs.
I was thinking maybe orate to perhaps exhort the local population to either help out or give us any information they may have on strange beast sightings in the area.
Noted. Yeah.
Varys' strong suit would have been courtesy or intrigue, so
You could
Is Varys
approach.
Roman?
yeah. Let's try the courtesy approach this time. It's gonna try to just go to the various different landing areas and such. See if he can get anything from the noble stuff there.
Okay. So I hear. So if I'm. So there was a proposal towards hunting. I don't think we've actually checked in with Tiberius. Tiberius, what were your thoughts? Or
Yeah, I've got a couple of options I'm thinking of. The first one is I'm reasonably good at folklore, so talking to the local populace, being a Roman and whatnot. But my other option, which I sort of wanted to more follow up on, is I picked up my lovely Squire Kay at that feast in Heartland, and he's from out this way. So I'm figuring maybe we should be looking in the Morris Forest, which is what I put in the chat there, and maybe asking him and the maybe the local populace, like, where are sort of like the Fey tainted areas of this forest, and maybe using my fairy lore to look for clues.
okay, I think you're gonna have to start with one of those routes, but it's good to get all
Yep.
those out on the table. It sounds like you're. It sounds like Let's start with Ian. Your hunting is 10 plus, correct? Or what's Ian's hunting?
It's done.
10? Okay. So yeah, we have someone that covers hunting, and it sounds like you guys have a pretty good spread. So I think you guys can just start rolling on the things you've mentioned, since you've covered off a pretty good spread in your approach. For Tiberius, you just got to choose which one of those you want to target, and we can approach it from there.
Should I maybe start with the folklore, and then as we get closer into the forest, maybe more focus on the fairy lore?
That would
So
work
sort of
fine.
like,
It's up
yeah,
yeah.
I guess use the folklore to sort of give us a general area, and then the fairy lore to maybe hone us in a bit more.
That's fair.
All right, so you want us to make some rolls now?
Yep. Yes, please.
Alrighty,
I'm back on my PC, so
Okay.
there we go. Hey, we're doing right.
Oh, one away.
All right, we're just missing one. Ooh, okay.
that's to be expected. Their failures continue.
It's okay.
That's
4 out of 5 is really good. Set of hits here. So I think everyone that did succeed, you can tick that thing that you did. Ian's able to keep you on course. I think between Godric's ability to orate and organize, and kind of working with Tiberius's knowledge of folklore, the two of them are able to get a good draw of people and locals, and some of them swear they spotted this lone rider, here and there, and it takes probably a couple of weeks of navigating before you're pretty certain you're on the trail. The falcon, for falconry, we're gonna say that, like, you have a better eyes of the land around you. You're able to find food and water easier. Just a better setup in general. So I think as we move into this next scene, because we are on a limited time frame tonight or today, we're gonna assume that you're on a forest road between the county of Tintagel and the county of Ascalon. Oh, I think I lost somebody.
On the Roll20, I just have a black screen. Oh wait, no, it might be my Zoom. Nope, it's not.
What was it saying?
I refreshed the page because I was sitting on a black screen too.
Okay. Let's see if this helps too.
Once
Play
again,
over.
technical difficulties. Imagine having them. Never happens here.
Never does. Okay, so you're riding along the forest path. We'll kind of pick up with this scene. I think it's good to get some roleplay in rather than just the questing aspect. So I don't have an NPC along for the ride, or at least, other than squires and stuff, not really. You're pretty like deep in a forest, like 2 days ride in. You're pretty confident that you're still following good pathways, though it's worth noting, I think, with the successful folklore and stuff, you notice that the forests seem a little thicker than you'd anticipate. In fact, some of the regular talkings of the commoners were about how thick the forests have grown this spring. With that in mind, why don't we just open up with you guys along the forest road? And I think only one or two you have squires. Most mercenary knights would not, because they cost extra money to maintain.
I got a story squire.
Yep.
And how long have we been traveling?
About 2 weeks.
That bird of yours has come in handy keeping us fed.
I'm glad Valir has. I don't know this area that well, but, I'm glad he's been the better eyes than what I have.
In general, Owen is kind of riding a little ahead and occasionally stopping and dismounting and looking around at things and examining the land, remounting and leading on. And there's maybe a little bit of back and forth, but he's doing it on purpose as a searching thing. But after 2 weeks, he is beginning to get slightly, not like annoyed, just wearied a bit, like physically tired of being on camp for so long. But it's like,
Lay back into the Libra. Lay back and think of the Libra.
It's not about the money first. We have to actually find him. Quit focusing on the money aspect and just focus on finding him.
I was never doing it for the money anyway, although the money's nice. But just to try to win some glory, but there's not really much glory to be had wandering around the woods for weeks at a time. If only we had something more to go on.
With that, awareness test, everybody.
Ooh, kaboom, there it is.
Nice.
Oh, by one, Godric. Oh, that's
So
the
close.
worst.
And I already had that ticked, so does that mean I can put it up by one, or is that a different thing?
You just keep it ticked.
Cool. But I get me some glory, and that's always fun.
Yeah. Plus 17 glory for that.
Happy days.
Okay. Varys, were you rolling awareness as well?
Sorry about that. I just shift back to mobile at drop off games. So I will step outside for a minute.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I can just do this. 1 sec. Okay, because this one was key, anyone who did pass, you can take your awareness roll. I gave Varys the roll, and he succeeded, so he'll take it as well.
Sorry, what was rolled just so I know?
Awareness.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, just give me 1 sec here.
I think Godric misses whatever it is we're seeing, because everyone around him is talking about, we're not here for the money, we're here for, the glory, and he's like, I'm actually just here for the money, I need to eat.
Honestly, that is fair. That being said, it should never just be about the glory. Or it should
Yeah,
never
that's
just
fair.
be about the money.
That's fair. Sadly, I think Ferris is here just for
I think a
keeping
lot.
his promise to the guy. Yeah, it's not even about the money at this point. He's starving before too, so.
I think a lot of people, a lot of the mercenary knights are here for the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
it's fair. I mean, it's in the name. They're mercs, so.
Yeah.
It's only one for the money. It's two for the show.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
You hear what sounds like, for those that succeed, you hear what sounds like shouting, maybe. And I think for Tiberius, you recognize it as just bad singing.
Tiberius will look at Godric and go, Godric, someone sings worse than you. I didn't think it possible either. But over that way. As he points.
That's absolutely horrid. I am really bad at that myself.
Worse than me, eh? Well, this will be a sight to see.
Well, me with a singing of 1, they're definitely worse than I am.
I have a 2, so it's not like I'm much better.
We're a bunch of talented mercs, man. That's what it is. We gotta start our band.
Oh yeah.
Let's go see what this is about.
Let's go see what it's about.
Singing is that what that is? I kind of assumed that something was being murdered.
At first I thought it was a cat being squashed by a rock, but no, it does seem to be holding some kind of tune. Ish.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's terrible singing as is more shouting than singing. As you make your way to a small stream, and you see what looks like a man kind of swimming around in the water. His horse and armor lays nearby.
Does he match the description of the long flowing hair?
Seems to fit pretty good. Yep.
Is there any heraldry on his gear?
Good call.
You, in this case, for you especially, Ian, because you spent time there, You can do a heraldry roll +5.
Our other's able to.
That's
Oh,
good.
go ahead.
Good. I was gonna say +10 anyways, but that's okay. You succeeded.
Tiberius will call out, "Hello there, friend."
He turns and you see him start to make out of the water right for his sword.
We come in peace.
He stops.
I am Sir Tiberius of Churnchester. Well met.
You notice he's... So the description, it talked about him having a long flowing beard. It's not a very good description for him right now. It's more like he's gone feral. His beard is growing out, practically growing out of his ears. And it's just really, really unkempt. Though having recently bathed, or just now bathing, certainly keeps that the look of being dirty isn't so much there, though still a little bit. You can tell he's been very deep in the wilderness for a very long time. And he reaches for the hilt of his blade and he looks at all of you suspiciously. Tiberius, you say? And what?
Yes, friend.
Be you brigand knights? Looking suspiciously still.
Nay, friend. Absolute nay. No, we have actually been hired by your brother. He's concerned for you if you are indeed the man we are looking for.
Brother?
Did I identify his heraldry?
Yes, you did. It is, in fact,
Okay, awesome.
the Gals clan. This is almost certainly him.
And Owen will give a slight elbow nudge to him and point out no doubt the shield laying there. Oh, I'm pretty sure this is him. Look there.
Thanks, Aaron. Wonderful. Tiberius will get off his horse so he doesn't look so imposing and go, will you speak with us, Your Majesty?
All right. Who sent you? Was it Elaine? What the hell does he want? I left him in charge. Should be enough.
It's not, sir, with all due respect.
Red one?
What was the name of the guy?
Sir
I've just got
Lamorak. Sir Lamorak sent us.
Sir Lamorak, yeah, that's right. And that's his brother, isn't it?
Yes. One of the younger ones, I believe.
Yes.
No, friend. Sir Lamorak, I believe one of your younger brothers, is greatly concerned for you and greatly concerned for the kingdom. It appears things are not going as well as what you may have wished in your absence. So we've been sent to bring you news.
He looks around at each of you, studies you a bit. He's quite tall, size 17. He's got dark black eyes. Those are his distinctive features. He starts to put on his clothes. You can tell that they're, the clothes themselves are pretty, worth a pretty penny. Probably like a 3 librum and all. The royalty makes it clear, though the clothes are very much dirty from the road.
Right.
All right. Lamrick's looking for me. Always was a good lad. But just tell him I'm busy. Tell him I put Elaine in charge for a reason.
You may want to sit down for this, my lord.
He stops and turns.
Ferris isn't like even mincing words. He's flat out saying it. Your brother's dead.
He stops. What do you mean? Dead? What? What brother?
There's an uprising back home. The Hillsman tribes are revolting, and they slain your brother on the battlefield. I was there.
Oh dear.
He frowns.
So Lamric asked us to find you so you could muster the troops back home to quash the rebellion. Because they will not listen to him.
They need your strong leadership to bring peace back to your lands. And then, of course, they understand that you'll continue your quest for this beast.
But as stated, there's an uprising. They're taking advantage of your absence.
He looks really torn. He looks down at the ground. Thank you for bringing this information to me. Do I understand it correctly? Elaine is dead?
You do.
Well, I suppose I should return home then. Perhaps all of you would be willing to hunt with me this one last time. Share a meal, and upon the morrow, I will return with you to Lamarick, back to my kingdom of Gomerick.
I would be very honored, Your Majesty.
Excellent. He kind of perks up and starts to ready his spear. Certainly.
Well, what can you?
Go ahead.
What can you tell us of this beast? I believe I heard its roar some time ago.
Indeed. Then he gets a little suspicious. Why? Do you think you might hunt it yourself?
Oh, Your Majesty, I am no hunter, believe me. My life has been not one of my father and grandfather died shortly after being knighted, so I have not had the privilege of growing up on lands where I was able to learn how to hunt well.
I call it the barking beast.
Barking beast. Like a large dog?
No. At least not a dog from here. Perhaps from the underworld. Its sound is ghostly. It's elusive. Every time I think I'm close, it escapes me.
It sounds like a
What
demon.
you need is, and maybe what you need is a few extra hands to, quarry the prey. One man alone can only be in one side.
Perhaps that's good, yes. I heard it again just 2 days ago. It seems I've lost it once more. Well, let us find us some game then. Not in this case, Jeremy. I think you know what you know so far. There's nothing in fairy lore that will give you more on that. So
No worries.
yeah. Again, it lines up well with the references to the ghostly sound in the Merlin episode that you went with, but in this particular case, probably the most familiar thing you'd have from fairy lore is the mentions of the Wild Hunt. Sounds a little bit like that. It's not that, so I don't I don't want to go down that route. You know, I think we all know out of character it's not the Wild Hunt, but that would probably be the thing that is the most, you know, reference those ghostly hellhounds, right? So
Yeah, I
Bears
didn't.
went oddly quiet after the uh, king decided that he wanted off-road still hunting one more time.
sorry, Drax, you're breaking up pretty good there.
Sorry about that. I was just saying that Ferris was silent after the king offered the hunt and all that.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little like resigned at this point.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. Who wants to participate in the hunt here?
I will.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I
Sure,
can't
You
go
know
hunt.
for
what? Malir can help us get some good game as well.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Varys is going to do it too. If there's nothing else, to keep an eye on this king while he goes gallivanting again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Owen is the same, but also has heard of this thing a few times, so he's curious to see if it actually is real or what exactly it is.
For sure. Okay. What I need a single D20 roll from someone. I'm gonna give it to Godric. Godric, why don't you roll a D20 for us?
You got it.
Okay. And then why don't we get everyone who's involved to make a hunting roll? Theodric, we can keep you out of this and you can focus on falconry if you want for hunting small game, if you'd like.
I mean, I figured he'd be hunting with the group, but I can totally do the falconry roll instead.
Yeah, you can hunt with a group. That's fine. I just don't think you can do both at the same time. That's all. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Nice.
Anyone involved can make the hunting roll. Too bad.
I suck so bad at hunting.
Yeah, if you could make that roll for me. I'm not back to my PC yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Thank you. I think it's a 7 I have to hit or something like that.
I can roll for you right now. Yep, 7. You failed. And then
I know. I'm in one of your games.
yeah, it's true. You have bad luck in my games. Theodric, I think is all I'm missing.
Yeah, I'll make the falconry roll.
Oh, you're not gonna hunt with the group then? You're gonna.
I mean, I was gonna be with the group, but I was gonna be using my falcon as well, if that's possible.
You just can't do both at the same time again. Like you could.
Oh, okay.
Falconry would involve typically standing. You know what I mean? And having the falcon return
Okay.
to you. You know, it's and falcons typically hunt for small game. That's like what they're known to do, right?
Then I will do hunting instead.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got no idea.
Okay. This is interesting. And then let me just test this. All right. So
I'm just going to try to be close to Pellinore.
You try to keep close to Pellinore, but all of a sudden Pellinore and Ian end up losing the group as they're hot on the hunt for game. And I don't want to go through the full rules of this, but basically, Ian, if you don't have hunting checked, you can now, and you can take an additional. Well, you're 10 glory for the critical, right? But you can add additional 5 glory as you help Pellinore hunt down a red deer. So you guys find a nice, good-sized deer for the night, for the meal. And all of you are quickly hereafter. It's just they get ahead. That roll indicates they got ahead, and they were actually involved in the hunt itself of the deer. So with all
Well
that,
done,
with all that in mind, we'll cut the scene to a short scene where, the food's being prepared, being cooked back at a camp. It's like late afternoon at this point. You're not far from the stream where you saw him previously bathing, kind of an open clearing in the forest.
Your Majesty, how long have you been away from your kingdom?
Almost. He pauses. It's been some time, actually. A few years now. Though. I haven't kept track. 3 winters, maybe? You find it odd that he would not keep track of winters. I can't really say.
It's all blending together. You've been gone so long.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. That and like being hyper focused on trying to find this creature. Like it definitely seems odd, but I can see it.
Has it always been down in this forest, Your Majesty, or other places as well?
Oh no. It's been all throughout Logris and beyond. I first heard it in my lands, actually. It seems to be really good at evading. Every time I am close, I managed to get a glimpse of it once.
It's like sitting off to the side, probably dressing out and cutting up the deer and putting it onto the fire, but perks up. Oh, is that a fact? And what did it look like?
Like many things at once, he says in turn.
Like many things at once. Like you can see that I was visibly confused by it.
Yeah, Varys is kind of just like, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's like a combination of many animals.
Really
The head and neck of a snake.
folklore for knowing what chimeras are.
I think you would all have heard of tales of chimera back, dating back to mythology. Not necessarily here. Yeah, why don't you do a folklore test? Add 5 to it if you want.
Is that anybody or just that person?
I think anyone can.
with a +5, was it?
Yeah. And if your folklore was 5 or under already, you can put a check in it if you pass this.
So it's folklore +5.
Yeah. And if your
All
base
right.
if your base folklore is
Yeah.
5 or under, you
Nah.
can put a check in it. Okay. And then I guess I'll test Varus for him here real quick.
Yep, still not back yet.
No, it's all good. 5 modifier. You failed. So I guess Tiberius a bit makes sense from your Roman background, and then Ian, you've heard of this as well. So you've heard of a chimera, and I guess it has similarities in that it's a blending of beasts. So
He is also Roman Christian, so
that makes sense. Pellinore describes it as having the head and neck of a snake, the body of a leopard, haunches of a lion, feet of a hart. You try to imagine this thing though, it sounds kind of silly, you know? Almost impossibly so.
In a way, yes, but in a way, no. Tiberius might be thinking what he's seeing is some sort of evil fey creature that his mind can't actually process the horror of it.
I think what I would either like suspicious versus trusting, or worldly versus spiritual from each of you. Kind of get a sense of whether or not you buy this. I think it's an important thing to understand.
And nope. And nope.
Good old wordly. Love that spelling. Okay. So if you're trusting, or you're spiritual, sorry, were successful, then in that case, you'd probably buy him a bit more in it. I think in the case of Tiberius, you failed at both, but you have heard something in the forest, so you might, you might have some sense of not ruling it out, like especially with your fairy lore, in the way you've linked that in character to potentially being something demonic. Although Pellinore doesn't give much shit in the way of that conversation, to say the least. So
That's right. I just think our mortal brain can't process what it is because it's so unworldly.
Mm-hmm.
am I suspicious one? So am I just like thinking he's crazy?
A little bit, yeah. Like it doesn't sound as clear as like you heard he was hunting some fantastical beast. Now you probably get a little bit why Lamarck is so doubtful of this, right? Left a kingdom to go hunt something that sounds like a fairy tale. Right. He looks around, and I think he kind of gets a sense that he folds his arms over his chest and he says, I know it sounds crazy. I've seen it. I've heard it. It exists. But no one will be able to doubt it once I've found it. Once I've claimed it.
Well, I've not seen it, but I've heard something.
As you say, Your Majesty.
With that, we're going to do an awareness test. Sorry, go ahead and ask your question, though.
It's more of a statement. Just Owen is like, well, after you take care of the business back at your lands, I suppose. You should bring along at least a few of your finer hunters. It's always nice to have someone to help cut off the prey. That could prove you out. And did you say there's a mod on this awareness or just regular?
No, just flat on this one. Okay. I think this happens while Ian's talking, which might make sense here, and so both Varys and Ian don't hear this, but for Theodric, Tiberius, and Godric, you all hear a faint sound, like a distant sound. It sounds like that ghostly howl that was just described to you. And immediately you see, like with great speed, let me just do a roll here, just to point this out. Whoa, that didn't work. I did that wrong. Hold on. Okay. With great speed, you see the king leap upon his horse like a madman possessed, leaving behind everything but his spear, even his armor, as he starts off in the direction of that sound.
Oh, the chase is on. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yep, Varys is already up and trying to catch up.
A second, I suppose. But yeah, like suddenly sees everybody taking off, and he's like confused for a second, and just grabs his weapon.
It's fair. So I'm curious to know, like, it would have been extremely uncomfortable. Who wore their armor through sitting and eating and stuff? Or,
Possibly Tiberius, because I'm a bit afraid of this thing, quite frankly. I don't want to get ambushed by it.
Yeah, I think I would have worn my armor too.
Godric definitely would not have.
okay.
Varys
I don't
would have.
think.
He
Oh,
travels so much, so he's hardly ever out of it.
I've got chainmail and was cleaning a deer, so I think he would have taken it off. He doesn't want to get it all, rusted up with blood.
Right. Okay. We got Ian, Godric, and I think it was just Ian and Godric, right? Or Theodric.
Yeah, I think so.
No, Ian and Godric, I
was-
think.
Yeah. Everybody else is still in their armor.
I imagine you guys aren't riding chargers through the forest either. You probably would have been riding your round sea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think how to do this exactly. So, I think there's a benefit to having the armor, and that is clear and obvious. But I think there should be a penalty applied here, and I think that is trying to transverse these difficult terrains especially in chain. I think is gonna net you. This upcoming, I'm gonna ask everyone to make a. Actually, give me 1 sec here. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a reason why people hunt in leathers and not chain that can get things stuck into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking from experience, crawling through the forest in chainmail, it snags on literally everything.
Okay, sorry about that. I will take a horsemanship roll from everybody. -5 if you're wearing chain, -3 if you're wearing mercenary armor. No penalty if you're armorless.
-5, you.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Oh boy, that 20 is...
Oh no, Tiberius.
I honestly thought that was me, because it came through right at the same time as mine.
That branch has got my name on it.
Yeah, and I don't think it has anything to do with the armor in this. So,
No.
yeah.
It's just Tiberius either doing well or just failing horribly. There is no middle ground.
What are we rolling now? Sorry, I'm back to my PC.
Horsemanship -3 for you. Or wait,
Okay.
do you have chain? Do you have chain?
Yeah.
You have chain, it's
Yeah.
-5.
I think so. Let me check.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
-5 then.
Yeah. Okay. -5. All right. So then that'll offset my other stuff that I got for mods.
Oh boy.
I fumbled.
Okay.
That's about right.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 fumbles.
So Ian and Godric and Theodric, you're able to move quickly in pursuit. I think in the case of Tiberius and Varys, something must have happened to both of you. I'm thinking it's almost like I wonder if you're riding like beside almost like a bank, right? And the bank gave way a bit, so it was like loose a little bit, which sent the both of you down. Yeah, give me a d6 roll each for damage as you are thrown off your horses. Okay.
Just one.
Okay, and you'll be delayed a bit, but you're not going to be out of things here.
Okay.
For Ian, Godric, and Theodric, with your rolls in the numbers being respective, it's like Ian's at the front, Godric's not far behind, and then Theodric, you're managing to keep Godric in sight. Ian, you're able to actually keep Pellinore in sight. And with the 3 of you ahead, actually all of you can make one more awareness test here.
Close.
Okay, so the 3 of you, you hear Pellinore shout from ahead, "There you are! I've got you this time." And then you hear a second later, "Whoa, what the?" And you hear his horse like whinny, and you hear like a thud, and you hear a like a loud grunt. Godric and Ian and Theodric, as you emerge from the tree line into another clearing, you see the sight of a very, very large man. Nay, this is a giant. Pellinore has been unhorsed because his horse threw him at the sight of the giant. What do y'all want to do?
Alright, need to think on what he'd do.
Yeah, for the very first second, Owen
I think it's just
reins back, just like to at least slow the horse down some in surprise, at least just for that first shock.
I think Sir Godric is dismounting.
Okay. Noted. So, and the other two are kind of stunned. Is that accurate? Theodric and Ian.
He's a little bit shocked and just doesn't know what to do.
That's fair. So the two remain on horse. Hold on one sec.
Yeah. Owen is definitely staying mounted.
Staying mounted,
And-
got my shield up at the ready.
As double checking, King Pellinore's horse has like thrown him and bolted, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
He's left with his sword and his spear. That's it. And so I think in this case he's actually throwing his spear to the side and grabbing his sword. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier. I think Owen just has his sword. I don't know if he had time to grab the spear. He was like running after everyone else, but he was wearing that sword.
Like Sir Godric is calling out to Pellinore, saying, "Your Majesty, my horse, take him."
Interesting. Okay. He is royalty. I don't know if he would do that typically. But I think he will. I think he'll mount up. Okay. So for the first round of this, the giant looks to you all and grunts. This thing is far larger than like the biggest Saxon warrior you've ever seen, and certainly bigger than any man you've ever seen. For those who have seen giants, I will allow a folk or fairy lore in this case.
I don't think I've seen the giant.
I don't think I have either.
Okay, so I will say that the giant is only going to attack one person at this point. I need to know if anyone is specifically fleeing the scene, getting out of harm's way. Not counting Tiberius and Varus, who are not present currently. They will be next round. Round 2, they'll be here. Round 1, they are not.
Oh, Owen shall not flee, though he paused. His next action is almost certainly charge in like an idiot.
Yeah, Godric's not fleeing either.
Okay. If you have a
Right. I don't think I would either, but I think I do want to fight, more cautiously rather than, going all in for damage.
Okay, so if you have a Valorous of 16 plus, you may stay automatically. If you have a Valorous under 16, I need you to test Valorous for me.
Sir Godric has a Valorous of 16.
Perfect. Oof.
Yeah.
I was going to, and I didn't say this for you, Ian, but I was going to recommend if you were considering impassioning yourself, and I'll allow this to roll back as part of Open Pendragon is learning the Pendragon game. Because this is one scene and you can be impassioned for an entire scene, I will allow you to impassion yourself first before you make any rolls. I should have said that outright because this is all one scene.
That's fine. I will take a shot at honor then.
Yeah. It's always an option to do. The only time it's, obviously if you have a really high passion, sometimes it can throw you into madness or melancholy. But it's always a good thing to consider in life or death situations. Which I will, spoiler alert, a giant is without armor is always a life or death situation.
Even with armor, it's a life or death situation.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're not wrong. Okay, so you are impassioned now. You may re-roll that valorous roll +5. And then just checking for Theodric. Are you at
Valor 16. I'm staying, but I am fighting very cautiously.
Okay. What's your reckless, Theodric?
Reckless is 10.
Okay, perfect. As long as you don't have a famously high reckless, that's fine.
Nope, not that reckless.
Okay. The giant is too dumb to focus on more than one person. It's going to turn and choose the target that it's most enticed by, we'll say. So 1 equals Pellinore, 2 equals Ian, 3 equals Varys, 4 equals Godric. Pellinore.
Of course.
So Pellinore is pretty skilled, and he's impassioned with a 28 passion for loving the hunt of the questing beast. So there is a bonus there, but let's see what this thing rolls. Okay. And then actually it should have been minus. That wasn't a full 10. Hold on. Should have been 18, so 15. So it's 18 plus 5 out of 25. Okay. So anyways, Pellinore does manage to not get splatted by it in the first go. He's going to just simply be defensive as it approaches him. Theodric, Godric, Ian, do any of you want to risk taking the giant's ire by harming it? Or are you going to play defensive at this point?
Sir
Play
Godric
defensive.
Sir Godric is going to risk the giant's ire.
Okay.
Owen as well. He's going to go in there and at least try to take a hit in passing since he's mounted.
Okay. All right. So you can simply make these attacks. You may do so. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go with Loyalty Lord as Sir Godric has immediately gone into like protect the king mode.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. And he breaks out a two-handed axe.
Nice. He cannot dodge, so just deal your damage. Oof. That cuts him real good.
Oh, nice.
Godric is a beefy boy.
Yeah.
That being
He's a
said,
chunky boy.
he cannot take a hit from a giant.
Can anyone take a hit from a giant in this economy?
Boo.
Weird.
Okay. That sends him onto his behind.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you 10 glory for knocking over a giant with an attack. A small giant.
Him in the teeth.
Yeah. And then Ian, you may make your strike. Even
Sword
sitting
and
down,
passion +5.
Yes, +5, and even with being mounted, you do not have a mounted bonus against a sitting dwarf or sitting giant. I mean, so he's still big enough to not. But you hit. Give me your damage. All right. You feel the sword connect, but somehow doesn't seem to quite breach the skin as much as you'd like. These things seem to have thicker hide than one might anticipate. Not to mention, he does have some basic hide armor on. Okay. At this point now, Varys and Tiberius, you've managed to catch up after having the bank underneath you collapse. You get back on your horse, and as you ride forward to the sound of what sounds like conflict, you emerge to see Pellinore and the others as a giant faces them down.
Okay, is Pellinore like actually fighting, or is he trying to go after his quarry?
He is certainly stopped to.
Okay.
That's a good question.
That's
Actually.
it's gonna
So
determine what I do. Yeah.
I don't know if he's that much of an asshole.
Yeah, but how mad is he for this quarry?
He is very mad for this query.
Put it back where it was.
It's a funny question. I hate to do this, but I think I think Pellinore seeing you emerge, he turns on Godric's horse, at least for now.
So what did he do? He
starts riding off. Yeah, in the
All
opposite
right.
direction.
Varys is going to keep full pace that he's going and go after Pellinore.
Okay. All right. Tiberius, what are you doing?
So we've just sort of rocked up, and what are we seeing? Pellinore's riding off, and there's this big damn giant.
There's a big damn giant.
And specifically, Pellinore is riding off on my horse, and I am fighting this giant who is knocked over right now.
I mean, you get to steal Pellinore's horse. Who knows? I'm going to take off after Pellinore, I guess, because that's who we're meant to be here for. Like, you guys have got this, right?
I mean, that's the way Varys is looking at it. He's like, yeah, I'm after this guy here. That thing over there, no business.
Yeah, you've already chopped it down. Just keep hacking.
I'm not sure if it looks like they're at a point of. I might need a test here. I know Varys gave his word. I think there's a risk. Tiberius, you came here with Godric. There's a chance that he won't survive a giant hitting him. No one does, really, especially armorless. Are you willing to risk that to continue forward?
Isn't the giant on its ass, though?
Currently.
Well, they should be able to have this, but it's just I'm worried that if we let Pellinore go, we're going to lose him.
Yep, it's fair.
It's like, I love you, Ian, but I might actually call to Ian, back away.
All right, so it's gonna leave just Theodric, Godric, and Ian, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. Party split. Yeah.
Gotta love the split party.
Remind me
And
when you're knocked prone in Pendragon. I'm trying to remember what it takes to get back to your feet.
it's get a -5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as I say, unless you want to keep all the group together for story wise, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm not going to prescribe anything.
Okay.
1d20. Okay, so Godric, it looks like it's angry at you, obviously, because you're the one that hit it last. As you see
Yep.
the others depart, I need to know what Theodric, Ian, and Godric are doing at this point.
Godric is piling on while it's down.
Okay.
I think that's what I need to do as well.
Okay. What about Ian?
There's two there to support him. He might wheel back and see how it goes.
Yeah, because we've got an advantage
Before-
right now in that we
Yeah,
get
before
free
risking the
round.
giant fist crushing him.
Yeah, one thing you do know is that the giant's ire looks clearly on Godric at this point. So you do know that.
Can I hold off and watch their actions and see what he would do after that? Like if they're being highly successful,
Gotcha.
he might step in. But
I think you would have to start, because you're riding on your horse, I think you'd have to start like moving in that direction. Whether or not you connect or just continue to ride on could probably be something that you make like a last minute call on, if that's how you want to go. So why don't we start with
in that case, since he took a hit while riding by with a sword, can I just get behind this thing?
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
Then, yeah, I'll go behind him and then watch and see what happens.
Okay. Why don't we start with Godric's exchange with this thing, which is at a -5 penalty for trying to stand up and swing at you.
So do I get the +5? But even though he's like a huge, no? because he doesn't actually get up until the movement round, which is that. So he doesn't get an attack this round.
Oh, he actually.
No, he does.
He attacks
because
from the ground, right? Isn't that?
Oh well, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. That is true with the -5.
Yeah. But I think he'll still have the net -5, and you'll have your regular
Regular attack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, with the passion. Ooh. Well.
Oh my god!
Amazing.
I just want to make sure I rolled that.
And I like Godric too.
Yeah. Okay. There is something that we started employing this year, right, in the games, which is once a year we are allowing for a failure to turn in a fumble to turn into a failure to turn into a success to turn into a critical, and it only happens once a year that you're allowed to do it for a single roll. I would advise you do that now, and you're going to be able to survive this.
Yeah, if you're allowing it, I will take that.
Yeah. We established it last episode in Sunday night, so I think that's fair. So that will turn you to a critical, so you can deal your critical damage.
Okay. So that would be.
Did that both crit?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you do crits as double or +4d6?
+4d6.
Okay, hang on. That's incorrect. That's incorrect then. So it would be.
Okay.
Almost. I take it back.
Okay. It looks very wounded at this point. that is a good point. They both crit. Now that I think about it. So I think in this case,
So it would be a tie.
it would be a tie.
I
But
think it's a DC damage each.
yeah. I forgot that it critted. So yeah, it
Yeah.
would be a tie for you.
But neither of us are wielding swords.
What do you have? You have a spear?
I have a great
Great
axe.
Oh yeah, I think both weapons break. Isn't that
Both
how that
weapons
works?
break. I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
So I think it's like this thing where it's got the club and it's swinging the club at you, and you actually like carve into the
cut
middle of
through
the
the
club
tree.
with your axe, and like
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
like the axe breaks, but so does the tree.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? I like that. That's cool. Okay. It is now weaponless, or currently weaponless. We're gonna move to Theodric.
Alright, well, it is sword time. And I am fighting defensively, so that is a plus 10, and it's still plus 5. Because it's down?
A note: if you fight defensively, you do no damage.
Oh, true.
And as we've established, its attack is done, so it'd be almost pointless at this point to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I will just attack normally.
Okay.
So just plus 5?
Yeah. All right, you hit. Go ahead and deal your damage. Perfect. Okay. Okay, and then Ian, you're up.
I suppose if all I have is a move, I will begin to charge towards him. If I can actually attack, I will.
You can attack. Yep.
Okay.
You hit. Give me your damage. Okay. All right. So with this in mind, we move to the next round. I'm gonna complete this giant thing. Then I'm gonna go to Varys and Tiberius real quick. So
Yep. Makes sense.
its weapons smash and it looks angry. I think its ire is gonna stay on you, Godric. If that changes your immediate.
I fully understood what I was getting into here. So
what do you want to do as far as weapons? I imagine some of these guys might have a secondary weapon if you want someone to do
I mean, I think Godric still wears a sword.
Okay.
I don't think he has his shield with him because all that's back at camp. But I do think he would have his sword on him.
Yeah. I think it would have been fair to I would allow you to have your shield because I don't think it would be hard for you to grab on the way.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah. Not your armor, obviously, but your shield makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I would. Godric draws his sword and is going to maintain fighting this thing.
Okay. What about Theodric? What's Theodric doing at this point?
I think he's got his sword and his shield out. I think he's just staying defensive as the giant gets.
Okay. What about Ian?
He's, I guess, in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. And
all right.
It seems to be pretty hurt, so he's more confident.
Okay. So the good news is it is not as skilled at the grappling. So sorry, it is. It is skilled at the grappling. But it's not, it doesn't deal as much damage. tries to grapple. You know what? I think what it's gonna do is it's gonna reach for one of those trees. So it's gonna rearm this round. So it's not gonna attack anybody. It's gonna turn and grab so that it can smush someone with a club next round. So in the meantime, I think all of you are gonna get a free attack if you want one.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Ooh, nice.
That was with a +5 because I assume we still have that. But if not,
Yeah.
then okay, cool.
Wait, hold on. Was it +5 from?
I think it was still getting up when.
Oh no,
we were.
It's
has,
up now.
It has climbed to.
Okay, I can re-roll that. I can re-roll.
Okay. Hit. And then Ian, go ahead and give me your damage, Theodric.
Oh my god, that is terrible.
These rolls, hey? And then Ian. Hey, look at that.
Very nice.
Kidding, but that's my best damage yet.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
That's good damage.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's got a club in its hands and it turns around, and I think because everyone's poking at it, it's gonna go random again. So this is Godric is 1, Theodric is 2, Ian is 3. Theodric, it has turned on you, my friend. Which is funny because you're the one that dealt the least damage.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so what do you want to do as it turns to try and beat you to death with a club?
I think I am very much staying defensive. Like, I'm gonna fight defensively.
Okay. And then what are the other two both bearing down on it as it turns towards Theodric?
Yep. Shouting war cries of Thunor as he tries to kill this giant.
Awesome. Okay, let's start with.
How many just that now?
Oh, it fumbled on Godric. Godric, give me, or not Godric.
Yeah.
I meant to say Theodric. My bad.
Theodric.
Hey, you'll love to see it.
All right. I will give you so do your normal damage and add 2d6 extra damage in this case
Okay.
because of the fumble on his side. I think he turns right into your sword.
Okay.
Yeah. As he drops the club.
Let me make. Okay, I can do that. Do I need to roll a sword attack since he fumbled, or do you think it would auto hit because I can roll sword as well?
You still need to roll sword.
Okay. There we.
Okay. So do damage and then add +2. Plus 2d6. Roll your damage and you probably just gotta manually put it in.
Oh, I just did it as a modifier.
Okay. And Ian, why don't you give me your roll as well? And Godric, you can roll your damage as well. All right. I think it turns towards Theodric, and Theodric manages to drive right into its heart, and then in comes the additional sword swipes from Ian and Godric, and you've just managed to like surround and pincer this thing, and you hear it grunt, and it begins to kind of start to slump, and it starts to threaten to fall. Godric, it's falling down towards you.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Give
Dex?
me Dex roll to try to get out of the way.
Passion bonus.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, fantastic.
You dive out of the way, and it collapses with a thud. With that, we're gonna turn scene real quick to Varys and Tiberius. I need a hunting roll or a horsemanship roll, actually, from the two of you.
All right. If I impassion, does that last for the whole scene then?
I think I was defensive, so I don't know if it would be dead yet.
It was, yeah. At 50, 51, like 50 was enough. So.
Okay, I wasn't sure if everyone else's damage would have been enough to kill it, because I know I was fighting defensively.
Yeah, it was enough with Godric scoring one damage on it, and
So if I impassion, is it gonna last the whole scene for this whole encounter?
For this little, yeah.
Okay. I am gonna try Loyalty Lord, since I gave my word.
Okay.
To the other brother. All right. So that gives me a +5, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, the passion lasts for the chase and whatever, I thought.
He's
I should have
impassioning the chase right now. It's my calling it. He's impassioning the chase.
Yeah. So do I have the -5 from wearing the chain still as well?
Oh yeah, good point. Yes, you do. Minus 5 for chain.
Oh, that's gonna offset that, and then I just have my saddle bonus then.
Okay.
My family heirloom. So I'm good.
Okay. Tiberius, yours was a failure? Is that what you're establishing?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a like if a passion roll lasted for the whole chase plus whatever is up ahead of us, or just the chase bit.
Yeah, I didn't verify, but typically it's for a scene, right? So as long as it's not like a massive amount of time, I allow the passion to work for until something significant changes. Like it goes from, okay, now let's sit down and have a dinner together. Yeah, that would be a different scene. That makes sense.
Okay. Even if I had with a -5 from chainmail, even if I passed a passion, I still would have lost. Okay. Still would have failed.
I need an awareness test from Varys and Tiberius.
All right, and that still applies the impassion bonus.
Yeah, you can still have the passion.
Okay.
Yep. Well, I might as well do a passion then.
Oh, I shouldn't have impassioned that.
What a crit.
Yeah.
Passion my honor because I gave my word. So that's good. What is it when you've got a 20? Is it plus 10? Okay. And you want awareness, right?
Yeah, correct.
2 ticks. Yeah, pass.
Okay. Both of you, for half of a second, see something move through the brush, and for a second you swear you see like a giant head of a snake, and then it's gone. You can hear. I'll just note that Pellinore scored a 26, a critical, on his horsemanship. You can hear Pellinore chasing off after it, yelling and shouting. But then, as much as you try to kind of ride through to keep up with him, you lose him in the process. You're both going to end up with 25. Well, hold on, let me see. There's a certain amount of glory you get just for even spotting the questing beast.
Interesting.
Let me see. You get 100 glory each for getting within 1 yard of it, basically.
Oh, cool.
But you are basically left with a dead end. Pellinore is nowhere to be found. I think Ian had to split, and that's okay because
Yeah, he had work.
we were. I gotta duck pretty quick here too. Just wanted to say that when we go back, Godric, Theodric, and Ian will gain 33 glory each for that giant.
Nice.
Yeah. And all 3 of you can tick Valor for that.
Yeah, you guys were monsters, man.
I'll tick it for Ian, and I'll add his glory since he's away. Yeah, so we're probably gonna wrap there. There was one other thing actually I was gonna do. Weird, my roll 20 froze on me.
If I had actually passion before I did my horsemanship check, I would have crit the horsemanship. Damn it!
It doesn't. Yeah.
You get to anyway.
Is there any chance of finding Pellinore's horse?
You mean your horse or Pellinore's?
Well, Pellinore's. Well, unless Pellinore swapped back to
No,
his
correct.
horse.
Yeah.
Pellinore's horse.
Yeah, I think in this case, why don't you give me a hunting roll?
Okay. Nope.
Did you count your previous
Oh.
passion?
No, I did not. So that let me re-roll. There we go. That is a success.
One sec. Either roll 20 is down, or I'm just really struggling with it. One of those two.
Running through the forest, chasing after Pellinore. Don't leave me!
Okay. The roll 20 is not loading for me. It doesn't really matter. You end up with Pellinore's Noble Courser. It is a
Okay.
5d6 move 10.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's an interesting note.
That was pretty cool.
I hope you guys
Okay.
enjoyed. That was.
I did. Sorry about all the
I did.
disconnect.
Thank you for running.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no
it's
problem.
been a hectic
Yeah.
day.
That was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head off. Take care.
All right, later.
Yeah,
guys.
see you guys.
Take care, everyone.
And we get to Libra because we found him. Woo!
Yeah, you get
Yay.
to Libra. Don't forget that part. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thanks. See you next time.